In yet another embarrassing defeat for Trump, a jury spent a mere 35 minutes before acquitting a man who was standing trial with a felony charge of pointing a laser at Trump's Marine One helicopter. My name is Dina Dahl with the Midas Touch Network. Let's get into this. Now, Jeanine Pirro, Trump's appointed U.S. attorney, former Fox News anchor, put this man on trial, Jacob Winkler, 33-year-old from D.C. She said that she planned on prosecuting him to, quote, the fullest extent of the law. Well, the jury had something to say about that. A 35-minute deliberation for a felony charge that would have been, if convicted, would have given him up to 5 years in jail, a fine of hundreds of thousands of dollars. And yet the jury deliberated for only 35 minutes, a stunningly small amount. Just to put it into some context, when a jury goes back into the jury room, yes, they have to go through the evidence, they have to discuss the evidence, but they actually start with reading jury instructions. Jury instructions can be a few pages long. So they have to read the jury instructions, read whatever evidence they need to go over, deliberate, and come to a conclusion in 35 minutes. That shows how weak that evidence actually was. Well, according to the public defenders who defended this man, they said it was actually a cat toy. It was, those toys that have those beams of light that you use to engage your cat. That this was evidently what the man was using. So according to the facts, this man was in D.C. and an officer came upon him, and the officer shone a light in his face. And so he then shone this light back to the officer and then evidently pointed it at Marine One, whether or not it was actually the direction of Marine One. He was then arrested for pointing a laser at Marine One. When he was arrested, he evidently was on his knees, sobbing, saying he apologized, saying he points his laser all the time at signs. He didn't realize he wasn't able to point it at the sign. This man who the officers came upon him because he was most likely unhoused, living on the streets. So they decided, Jeanine Pirro decided to go ahead and use resources to prosecute this man, despite the lack of evidence, despite the fact that he was using a cat toy. Now, let's just talk about this for 1 second, because as we know, we've been reporting quite a bit on the Midas Touch Network, how little, what a difficult time Jeanine Pirro is getting to get actual convictions, never mind to go beyond grand jury. As we know, she lost with the sandwich, the man who threw the sandwich at officers. She tried to get a felony. The grand jury said no. Then she tried to get an indictment for a misdemeanor. That went forward. It went to trial. She lost. Supposedly, this is not just happening in these cases. It's happening across the board. Her dismissal rate or lack of conviction or lack of getting an indictment or a charge is about 20% when you compare that to a half a percentage over that same last 10 years. This is stunningly